From the second he walked onto the America's Got Talent 2025 stage, nobody had a clue they were seconds away from witnessing one of the most shocking moments in the show's history. He was tiny, nervous, and barely big enough to hold the microphone, yet the entire room fell silent as though destiny itself had entered the spotlight. What happened next didn't just stun the judges, it sent chills through millions around the world. Because when this 9-year-old opened his mouth to sing a Michael Jackson classic, the audience collectively lost their minds. Some swore they were hearing the king of pop himself. Others claimed this boy was proof that musical legends never truly die. And by the end of the audition, one thing was undeniable: AGT had just discovered a once-in-a-lifetime voice. From the moment he stepped onto the America's Got Talent 2025 stage, the entire theater felt something shift, like the air had thickened, the lights had warmed, and every eye suddenly locked on one tiny figure who looked both overwhelmed and strangely destined for the spotlight. This wasn't just another child audition. This was the moment millions would later replay, analyze, and argue about online. Because when a soft-spoken 9-year-old boy opened his mouth and began to sing, the world collectively gasped. Some said he sounded exactly like a young Michael Jackson. Others swore it was something even more extraordinary. And within minutes, social media had already given him a new title: Michael Jackson Reborn. Click the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our breaking celebrity news updates. But long before hashtags began trending and fans started screaming that they had just witnessed history, something truly magical happened on that stage, something that reminded people what raw, unfiltered talent looks like before the world shapes it. The judges didn't just watch an audition. They watched the birth of a phenomenon. The story began with a nervous little boy, shoes slightly too big, clutching the microphone with both hands as if it were the only thing grounding him. When Simon asked for his name, the boy gave a shy smile and whispered it, barely audible. When he was asked what he would sing, he hesitated, swallowed, and then said it clearly this time: "Who's Lovin' You," by the Jackson 5. If you don't want to miss our breaking news updates, subscribe right now. The entire room reacted instantly, some with excitement, many with doubt, and nearly everyone with surprise. That song is one of the hardest classics for even trained adults to perform, let alone a child. And choosing a Michael Jackson vocal track, it was a move that could either crown him or crush him. But this boy wasn't trying to be shocking. He wasn't trying to be viral. He was simply following the only voice he had ever truly trusted, the one inside him, the one that matched effortlessly with the music of a legend he admired. As the first notes played, the boy closed his eyes. The theater went silent. Even the judges leaned forward, sensing that something unusual was about to happen. Then, when he finally sang the first line, the reaction was immediate and explosive. Gasps rippled across the room. People stood up without realizing it. A woman in the audience visibly covered her mouth, tears already forming before the first chorus. His voice wasn't just good. It was uncanny, rich, perfectly controlled, filled with emotion a 9-year-old should logically possess. It wasn't mimicry. It wasn't imitation. It was something deeper. It was as if the spirit of young Michael Jackson, the era of the Jackson 5, the youthful power, the crisp tone, the emotional surge, had been rekindled inside this small, trembling child. Even Simon Cowell looked rattled. And when Simon is rattled, you know something extraordinary is happening. As he moved into the higher notes, effortlessly hitting them with a confidence he didn't seem to have during his introduction, the audience erupted into applause mid-song, not once, but several times. His voice cracked with emotion exactly where it should, soared where fans hoped it would, and held notes with a maturity no one in that room expected. It was the kind of performance people talk about for years, the kind that immediately enters AGT legend territory. By the time he sang the final line, the judges weren't just on their feet. They were stunned speechless. Heidi covered her heart like she couldn't believe what she had heard. Howie kept shaking his head, smiling in disbelief. Sophia burst into applause like she had just watched the next global superstar. But all eyes were on Simon. When Simon finally spoke, his voice was softer than usual, almost reverent. He said, "I think we just discovered something truly special. I don't say this lightly, but this might be the best child audition we've ever had." It was the exact moment the audience started chanting, "Golden buzzer! Golden buzzer!" And for once, it wasn't forced. It wasn't scripted. It wasn't fan hype. It was pure demand. So Simon stood up, walked toward the desk, and with a rare, genuine smile, slammed the golden buzzer with both hands. The explosion of gold confetti wasn't just ceremonial, it felt deserved, historic, and deeply emotional. The little boy looked up, shocked, his eyes filling with tears as the stage bathed in shimmering gold. The judges rushed toward him, hugging him, cheering for him, lifting him like he was already a champion. And in that moment, the internet erupted. Clips were immediately uploaded. Comments exploded across every social platform. People who normally argued online suddenly united over something beautiful. This is Michael Jackson reborn. Did anyone else get chills? This kid is unbelievable. AGT just found the next global superstar. I cried. This child is special. Within hours, the video hit millions of views. Within days, it became one of the most watched auditions of the entire season, possibly the entire franchise. The debate had already begun. Was he channeling Michael Jackson? Was he a musical prodigy? Was he trained? Was this natural talent? Was he the future of pop? But the part that shocked people even more was learning his backstory. This wasn't a kid raised in studios or trained by elite coaches. He wasn't from a wealthy family or a showbiz background. He learned to sing by replaying old Michael Jackson and Jackson 5 performances on a tiny screen at home, copying the rhythms, the breath control, and the emotional delivery entirely by ear. He practiced in his bedroom, in the car, in the shower, anywhere he could. His parents didn't even know he could sing like that until one day they heard him trying to match Michael's voice behind his closed door. At first, they thought it was a recording. Then they realized it was their son. The shock they felt in that moment mirrored exactly what millions would later experience. Producers began calling. Fan pages started forming. Music labels whispered about potential future projects. And all the while, the boy remained humble, shy, and soft-spoken, still the same child who clutched the microphone with two hands because one didn't feel safe enough. And that's what makes his story even more remarkable. Because talent alone is rare. But talent with heart, that's a once-in-a-generation miracle. As AGT 2025 continues, the world now watches him not as a contestant, but as a phenomenon. Every performance he gives becomes a trending moment. Every note becomes a debate. Every stage appearance becomes a cultural event. People aren't just watching him. They are experiencing him. Is he Michael Jackson reborn? Of course not. No one can replace a legend. But does he carry something reminiscent of what made Michael magical? Absolutely. He carries the spirit of pure, raw, transformative talent, the kind that makes you stop what you're doing, lean in, and feel something deep in your chest. He carries the spark. He carries the electricity. He carries the emotion. And maybe, just maybe, he carries the promise of an entirely new musical era. As America's Got Talent 2025 unfolds, one thing is already certain. This isn't just a child audition. This is the beginning of a story the world will follow for years. And somewhere, millions of fans are whispering the same thing. We just witnessed history. Thanks for watching this video and please subscribe Talent Zone Updates YouTube channel for more update news. What was your favorite moment from the show? Let us know in the comments.